Welcome back to another episode of GSC. It's fall here in Michigan, and as you can see, crops are coming off, leaves are coming off the trees. We're at my brother's house, and quite frankly, it's been a little chilly in the mornings. So I'm going to flip this around. We're going to talk about some things you might want to do to your 6.5 before Old Man Winter shows up. So you've got a 6.5. It's your daily, it's your work truck, it's your farm truck, it's whatever you may or may not use it for. Casper's more of a work truck than anything now. It's the farm truck. It's actually everybody's backup driver. If we have something go down, we just take Casper because this thing is the trusty, rusty, reliable farm truck. So winter's coming, fall is coming. If you live in the Midwest or the Rust Belt like I do, you are going to want to go ahead and take your time and make sure that your truck is adequately prepared for winter. A couple things you're going to want to do is take your time and make sure you've got good lift pump pressure up to the engine. Positive fuel pressure is a must, and you do not want to find yourself without it, especially in the cold. That injection pump can starve, cause hard starts, and be a real pain in the butt. So, step one, check your lift pump pressure. Make sure you're getting between 7 and 14 pounds, depending on if you've got a stock lift pump, Raptor, Fast, Air Dog, it really doesn't matter who you got. Make sure you got pressure, and make sure it stays consistent at idle and while driving. Next thing you should do, take your time and check out your glow plugs. You can see the little ceramic plugs down here below my injectors. Go ahead and pull 2 of them out of the driver's side and the front one out of the passenger side. Take a look, see if they're in good shape. If you've never replaced the glow plugs in your 6.5 liter or 6.2 diesel, you may want to do that this fall. Take your time, pull them out, get some AC Delco 60Gs, replace them. The engine will thank you later, especially as it gets colder out. The next thing to help with ease of cold starts, look at potentially buying a set of injectors. Assuming that your truck starts well in the summer, you probably don't need a set. If you've never done injectors and the engine has over 120,000 miles on it, I would highly suggest doing a set of injectors simply because the original GM service manual was once every, I believe, 80K to get them pop tested and make sure the pressure didn't bleed down. So take the time. If you've never done it, go ahead and replace them. Now, the next thing is oil cooler lines. Everybody's seen Casper's big Leroy diesel cooler and lines before. If your lines are leaking and you have stock Jesus clip lines, by all means, go ahead and replace your lines. Get a set from Leroy, Quadstar, whoever you fancy. Get them put on, and that way you're not sitting on the side of the road with oil pouring out from under your truck in the snow. Or if you don't get snow and it just gets cold, same deal. So, where are we at? We've talked about lift pump pressure, glow plugs, injectors, oil cooler lines. Let's talk about the balancer. Harmonic balancer's way down here. This is a 2-piece system. Pulley, balancer's behind it. If the pulley has crack in the rubber damper, or if the harmonic balancer's never been replaced and you're north of 150K, put a balancer on it, put a pulley on it. You don't want to find yourself sitting alongside the road with a broken crankshaft due to lack of maintenance in the past. So Dorman, I believe, took over the business from Delco, but you may or may not still be able to get a Delco balancer and pulley. Or if you really like your truck and you plan to keep it forever, one and done, cry once, buy once. Go get a fluid damper and put it on the front of that engine, just like Casper's, and that way you never have to worry about it. The next thing I would suggest is go ahead and check your coolant. Make sure it looks good, smells good, make sure it's full, and also get a coolant tester and make sure that it is the correct mix ratio to go below freezing, because otherwise you'll end up with a slushy, very solid radiator. Nobody wants that green slushy. No, this is not one that tastes good, and no, it will not make your day. So, check your coolant. Another thing is, if you have issues with your engine getting up to temp or staying at temp, thermostats, replace them. Do not cheap out. Get Delco replacements. Do not get no-name mom-and-pop auto parts store ones. Learned that in the past, and if you don't want to find yourself changing thermostats once a year, go get some good AC Delco ones. Another thing you can do before it gets real cold, change your fuel filter. Make sure there's no debris in the bottom of that cup, filter head, whatever you want to call it, and make sure that you don't have anything clogging the screens. So that's another item. Last but not least, go get yourself some 5W40 Premium Blue, Valvoline, or Napa, or whoever you use, and swap over to 5W40 engine oil. Get rid of the 15W40 for winter. In Casper's instance, I run the same 5W40 year-round now. So those are some items to look at, some items to check. Let's go back through the list real quick. So, positive fuel pressure coming from the lift pump, glow plug health, injectors, oil cooler lines, harmonic balancer pulley, check your coolant, change your fuel filter, change your engine oil over, and thermostats. Hopefully this helps a few of you guys as you prep for winter, and that way none of you find yourself stranded in your 6.2 or 6.5 diesel. Thanks all.